Good morning. It is day number 1 of homeschooling for our family due to all the schools being closed. Um, will be interesting to see how it goes. I'm gonna vlog every single day to give you ideas. I'm gonna be using Montessori curriculum. I'm gonna use KUMON curriculum and also play-based activities for my 2 preschoolers. And again, we're coming off spring break, so kids will be establishing their homeschooling routine. I will share with you all of my materials, what I'm using, what I'm working on. On Wednesday, I'm also getting materials from the school, and I will work on those as well. So click the subscribe button to follow along through this weeks of lockdown, and hopefully it won't last longer than that, but I will keep it as exciting for you as I can. Now let's go homeschool. Our homeschooling routine starts at about 9 a.m. Today, I will be using a workbook from KUMON for Scarlett to practice her lowercase letters. Before we start our day, kids have cleaned up the playroom. This is a rough draft of my goals. I will be writing out a bit more rigid curriculum per each child as we're going. Scarlett is working on her lowercase letters, on her writing skills, where Justin is pretty much working on essential preschool skills. We've done this workbook from KUMON, and the reason I like it because it is repetition based. For Justin, I am just doing the name tracing. It's very easy. Typically, I use a very light colored marker. Yellows work great, and then let him trace his letters. We also used tracing books from KUMON where you do mazes and amazing mazes. I've done the whole video on the books, and it definitely prepped him. And after that, I let him match up the letters. The small letters that you see actually are from a Melissa and Doug material that I have. For Scarlett, she's going to be working on 3 letters today. It's J, F, and V, especially lowercase, because right before the spring break I had an assessment, and that's the main area for us right now. She pretty much knows all of her uppercase letters, so right now I am specifically focused on lowercase. While the kids are doing their work, I am prepping the next activity for Scarlett, which is the matching of uppercase and lowercase letters. While Scarlett is finishing up the KUMON book for lowercase letters, I got the tracing book that I mentioned for Justin. We had a few pages left in it, and he is just gonna do tracing between the lines. It's great for pen control and developing the proper grasp. He is right where he needs to be, but extra practice is always great. Here's just a few looks inside the workbook. So you can see it goes from straight lines to diagonal lines to curvy lines to zigzags, kind of prepping your child to be able to follow along all of those curves. With the letter workbook, it also, after each letter, there is a page with words, and I make Scarlett read because some of them she can read already, and we just basically working on her knowing those letters. A lot of them she does know, but at the same time I just go through the book based on the way it's built, and then I ask her just to write out those letters on her own, no any specific lines or anything, just being able to repeat the way the letter looks like. The next workbook for Justin is the cutting book from KUMON as well, and it also goes from straight lines to diagonal lines, and then he's going to do the zigzags. At his age, the main goal is for him to hold his wrist steadily without flipping it upwards. You can try it with your child, you will see if they do it, and being able to hold the paper with the other hand and follow along the lines. A lot of the times, 3-year-olds will not follow the lines 100% of the time, which is totally normal for their age, but at the same time, you want them mainly to build up the muscles. While Justin is working on his cutting skills, because it does require a lot of my one-on-one attention, Scarlett is having a brain break and she's just drawing an airplane. She's a big artist, and I give kids, after about 30 to 40 minutes of activity, certain brain breaks. Now it's time for letter matching for Scarlett to match up the uppercase and lowercase letters. This first group will be very easy for her, but what I do, I go first through the first column, which I know she knows all of her uppercase letters, and then we go through the lowercase column. So she names each letter, and then we do the lines, because a lot of the times she will hurry up and without looking through all of them, she'll just draw the lines. So we definitely go through the columns first. We are moving on to a more concrete part of our activities. A lot of children are concrete learners, especially younger children. So a lot of hands-on materials, which are pretty big in the Montessori approach, and one of the reasons why I like it, are something that you can feel and touch. Another principle in the Montessori approach is that older children teach younger children, and that helps them to become leaders and also helps them reiterate the lesson. So in this case, Scott will be helping Justin with his numbers from 1 to 10, kind of guiding him and telling him the proper way to use the materials. It actually is going to prep her for being in kindergarten in her school next year as well, because that's the role that kindergartners in the Montessori assume. They help younger children with lessons. This material is really great because it gives you the visualization of what 1 actually means, what 2 means, what 3 means, and then it also gives you an opportunity to discuss some more advanced mathematical concepts. Before I forget, just in case when I do voiceovers, one of the very cool parts about this material is that it actually makes a geometric shape. Like in case of a 9, there is 3 each way, so it gives you an opportunity to discuss with your child the beginning of geometry and like squares. And also when you are putting in it, you can say, okay, how many sticks do we have in it right now? Like right now we're doing number 9. He has 7 in, he has 2 more. So you can say 7 plus 2 makes 9. So it's also beginning of addition. So there's many ways to use this material depending on the level of your child. After about a full hour of activities, we are having a brain break. Justin loves his Hungry Hippos, so that's something of his choice. Baby Justin is kind of funny about his Hungry Hippos game. He does not want anybody to get his balls. So Scarlett and I are going to build from our magnetic tiles for a brain break. These magnetic tiles are awesome for good times just building things, and you can put a bit of education in it. Scarlett and I built a pyramid. We also built a parallelogram and other objects. After the brain break, we are moving on back to matching the letters. Now Scarlett is going through the ones that actually she tried learned today with E and F and all those ones. And then we are moving on to pre-reading skills. For this activity, I'm using spinny blocks and also the letters from the alphabet material from Melissa and Beth that I have. We will be sending out the letters, for example, in this case, it's the last one. So she's able to put those together and be able to read bat. The same with letter S, M. All those letters were suggested to me by her teacher prior to spring break. So now that we are homeschooling due to coronavirus, we will be using the same letters at home. This is the shape recognition and counting material from Montessori. It is, Justin is a little bit old for this. He pretty much can count and he knows all of the shapes, but it was his choice to pick it out, so the kids did it together and Scarlett kind of helped him out.
A cookie.
It's not a cookie, it's a rectangle.
It's a rectangle cookie.
we are all done with our lessons for the day. It honestly went much better than I could ever anticipated or expected. The kids loved doing their work together. One thing, baby Justin definitely has a shorter attention span, so next time I'm gonna set up some practical life activities in between for him to do, so he's busy with that. And Scarlett is doing her writing, and obviously she can do it for longer times. She's almost 5, he just turned 3. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe to my channel. As I mentioned, I'm gonna be vlogging every day, giving you ideas on fun activities, homeschool activities. Basically, I'm gonna be using Montessori, KUMON, and just regular activities like play-based activities for this whole time. So it will be like a blend. If you want me to do a whole video why I love KUMON and Montessori, even though they're so different and I compare them both, I can do that. All right, I'll see you later. Thanks for watching.